Hi there. You caught me during my coffee break. We have a lot of coffee breaks on OK Boomer because I need to stay awake. Now, it's showtime. Do you find those after-dinner games between the generations exciting? Here's my favorite, Monopoly. Monopoly on the Truth. To play Monopoly on the Truth, all you need to do is to think that your opinion is better than everyone else's, and you don't even need a playing board, okay?
Okay, Boomer.
Well, actually, it's not okay, because though Monopoly on the Truth is exciting and agitating and aggravating and... Stop!
Okay, Boomer.
Okay, Boomer.
Okay, Boomer.
Okay, Boomer. Okay, Boomer.
Let's go halfway across the world and speak with Endah. Now, we generally on OK Boomer try to start out with a light-hearted little question that breaks the ice. So, Endah, let me ask you now. Have you stopped beating your cousins?
Well, not exactly beating them, but I did survive one unforgettable trip with two of my cousins. The three of us went on a road trip, and the two of them started a huge argument. It got so dramatic that one of my cousins and I end up getting out the car 4 hours away from home. In the end, we both went our separate ways to get back home. So no beating, just dramatic family road trip stories. Family is family. We are still keeping in touch and attending family gathering.
Well, thanks for the clear answer. You know, I asked an Southern Illinois University a professor of law whether she had stopped beating her husband, and she said no. Anyway, now we got out of the fun part, let's go to the difficult part. In fact, I've got a cell phone full of information about you. You're a Generation X. You're taking care of your parents, running a translation business, helping me with social media and OK Boomer, operating a family delivery service, and you're also starting a conversational English podcast with, me. Yeah. Now, how do you have the energy to do all of this?
Honestly, sometimes I ask myself the same question. I think the energy comes from having clear goals and enjoying what I do. I like learning new things and I enjoy staying productive. Also, butterscotch helps a lot. But more than anything, I feel grateful to have meaningful work and family responsibilities that keep me motivated.
Okay, our next question is, you're doing so much work. What do you do for recreation? How do you relax after doing all this stuff?
For recreation, I enjoy simple things. I like listening to music, reading good novels, bicycling, and sometimes exploring new cafes or places when I have time. And last, having an open trip for escape once or twice a year. And I also enjoy practicing English because for me it's both learning and fun at the same time.
Yeah, in English, I understand, considering your language is totally different than ours, is hard to learn. Because I tried to pronounce some of your language for a promotion you did for me, and it was extremely difficult for me to pronounce. In fact, you had to use subtitles, didn't you? And I have a great love for the town and for the university. That's why I wrote this novel, Suluki Marooned. In Indonesian, it would be called Tirgabak di Masa Lalu yang belum usai. Now, there are all sorts of languages all over the world. Indonesians, you have your own. Why would you want to learn how to speak a language which is so different from yours? English.
I became interested in speaking English when I realized how useful it was for connecting with people around the world. At first, It was for study and work, especially in tourism and translation. But over time, it became more than just a skill. It became a way to share ideas, stories, and friendships across cultures.
Now let's peer into the crystal ball and ask you, what does the future look like for you?
The future looks busy but exciting. I see myself continuing to grow in language or other projects, improving my skills, and hopefully building projects like our Conversation English podcast. I also hope to stay healthy, keep learning, and keep helping people through communication and language, including AI like LLM, etc.
Well, this next question might be difficult for you to answer, given I'm asking you about me. What is it like working with a demented boomer?
Well, first of all, I think demented might be a little dramatic, but honestly, it's fun working with Robert from a different generation. It gives me a chance to hear different perspective, learns new stories, and sometimes look at the difference in how we see the world.
That was a very diplomatic answer, Endah. I'll buy you a cup of coffee when you visit me in the United States. Now, what is the most surprising thing you've learned from working with people from different countries?
The most surprising thing I've learned is how different communication styles can be. Some people are very direct, while others are more indirect and polite. At first, it was confusing, but over time, I realized that understanding those differences make communication smoother and relationships stronger. It also taught me to be more patient, open-minded, adapted, and confident.
Okay, the next question, once again, has to do with you. What is the thing that you feel people will be surprised to learn from you?
One thing people might be surprised to learn about me is that even though I do many things and stay busy, I actually enjoy quiet time very much. I like simple moments like listening to music or just sitting peacefully and thinking. People often think I'm always active, but I really value calm and quiet time.
Yes, and I like it too. I'm the same way. I like this balcony that looks at Signal Mountain behind me. I sit on the balcony whenever I can, and it's nice and quiet, and nobody bothers me, except for the barking dog, but we've taken care of that. Next question. What do you think is the biggest challenge for people learning English today?
I think the biggest challenge for people like me as a non-native speaker learning English today is confidence, especially speaking without fear of making mistakes. Many learners understand grammar and vocabulary, but they hesitate to speak because they worry about sounding wrong. In my experience, the best way to improve is to practice regularly and not be afraid of making mistakes, because mistakes are part of the learning process.
Yeah, and I speak some German, and if I were to speak to a native German, it'd be difficult because I'd be afraid of making mistakes. And my gosh, you get around. You're in another location, aren't you?
Thanks, Robert, for the great questions and lively conversation. It was fun. And thanks to you for joining us today. I hope you had as much fun as we did. Stay tuned. Okay, Boomer will be back with more stories and conversations soon. Subscribe if you want to see us for more videos, and hit the comment and tell me what you think. I'm gonna be Robert right now. Okay, bye.
Well, and that wraps it up. I really enjoyed talking with you, and I speak to Endah folks maybe on the average of once every 2 weeks, and she is helping me with the project this one actually, promoting it. And then we're also going to be starting a conversational English project for Indonesia. Indonesia is a pretty good-sized country. And I had some experience teaching English back in the 1980s, not written English, but conversational English. I had Japanese and some Mexicans. This was on the southern border with Mexico in Arizona. But back then I was a little bit less controlled than I am now. I lost my temper one day and I said, gosh darn it, I want the Mexicans to sit with the Japanese and the Japanese to sit with the Mexicans. I do not want Mexicans sitting with each other or Japanese sitting with each other, because then you speak your native language and I'm trying to teach you English. But now I'm a lot more mellow, and that's because of a lifetime of drinking coffee. And it was a pleasure. I enjoyed talking with you, and we'll have to do it again. Bye.
Okay, Boomer.
Okay, Boomer.
Okay, Boomer.
Okay, Boomer.
Once again, I'd like to thank Endah Wayuni from Pekanbaru in Indonesia. Now, Endah and I met a few years ago when she offered to translate a novel I wrote about Southern Illinois University broadcasting, which was one of the top schools in the country. And I wrote this novel, and it was translated into about 6 different languages, including Indonesian. And so we would Zoom together sometimes, and I found that she was very, very good at social media, so I started OK Boomer, and she's also working on that. So that's OK Boomer for this session. I'm Robert Rittman.